Hello and welcome back. We're going to talk about amortization of a bond, discount in this case, though we will use the same concept for amortizing a bond premium. This particular problem is going to be with regard to a discount. So we start off here talking about Hillside. They issue $4 million, 6% 15-year bonds dated July 1, 2015 that pay interest semi-annually on June 30 and December 31st. The bonds are issued at a price of $3,456,448. So of course, looking at this dollar amount and looking at the face value, we can see that it's being sold at a discount because it's less than what the face value is. So required, we need to prepare the January 1st journal entry to record the bond's issuance. So I start with what I know. So I'm going to debit cash because that's what I received in the form of $3,456,448. I'm going to do a credit to bonds payable, and it's going to have to be for the face value amount because I have to put it on the books as a payable at face value. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. So now I've got the difference between these two. Pull up the calculator, so 4 million minus 3,456,448 gives me a discount of $543,552. I'm going to put this on the debit side to get everything to balance. And I'm going to call that discount on bonds payable. I'm going to shorthand this and just simply call it discount. Okay, so while you're doing this, you might want to also set up some T accounts. So I like to do cash, and I like to do the discount. And then I also like to put in interest expense, so I can keep track of everything as I go. Alrighty, good. Number 2, for each semi-annual period, compute cash payment, straight line discount amortization, and the bond interest expense. Literally, one leads into the other. So if you do one, then it helps you with doing the other, which helps you with doing the third item. So I'm going to start with 2A. For each semi-annual period, compute the cash payment. How do I figure out the cash payment? Well, this is what I need to pay to the bondholders. This is the contract amount. I cannot negotiate anything other than the contract amount. So my contract says that the face value is $4 million, and it's at 6%, and it's semi-annual. So I'm going to take the $4 million, I'm going to multiply that by the 6%, which is 0.06. And that's 240, and since I'm making semi-annual payments, I'm going to divide that by 2 for half a year, and I will make a cash payment to the bondholders of $120,000. Okay, so this is how I will report it. 4 million times 6% times 1/2 1/2 or 6/12 or what have you is going to be equal to $120,000. Okay? Alright, letter B. I need to find straight line discount amortization. Okay? So the way I do this, there's a couple of ways I can do it. I can take the discount 543,552 and I can divide by the number of period payments I'm going to make, which in this case would be 15 years every half year, so it's going to be 30 payments. Okay, then I'm going to amortize this over. I could do it this way. I could go divide this by 15 years and then divide by another 2 since you're doing half year, and I would then come up with 18,118.4, and I'm going to round it down to 18,118. Okay, so I'll write this thing out. 543 552 divided by, I started to do multiply, but it's actually divided by 30 periods. That's 15 years times 2 is going to give me 18,118. Okay, and if you do the 0.4, that's one thing, but I believe in Connect it'll ask you to round to the nearest dollar. Letter C. What's the bond interest expense going to be? Okay, now we already know that we're going to be paying $120,000 to each bondholder in cash. We also have to amortize the discount. So if I'm going to do this, I've got a payment of $120,000, so that's going to be a credit here. I'm going to discount my bond, so I'm going to do a credit entry. Oops, sorry. I'm going to discount my bond, which is right now it's a debit entry. So to discount it, I'm going to do, or amortize it, I'm going to do credit entries all the way down the line here. So 18,118 is the amortization amount. Okay. Then my interest expense has a plug figure. So if I paid out cash of 120 credit, I have a credit for the amortization of the discount of 18,118. Then I've got to do a debit to balance everything out, and that debit's going to be right here in interest expense. I'm going to literally add these two to get to this one. Okay, everybody still with me here? So my debit entry is going to be 138. 118. And so when I write it out, the way I write it out here is quite simply 120,000 plus 18,118 equals 138, 118. Just like that. Okay. So I figured out my cash payment, 120,000, which was this over here. I figured out the amortization of my discount, which I put over here, and then I figure out what my interest expense is going to be. And like I said earlier, when you're doing this, letter A and letter B will get you to the answer for letter C. Okay, but if you really want to know if you take the cash payment and either add or subtract the amortization of discount or premium. For goodness sakes, do yourselves a favor and draw T accounts so you keep straight which is which. Okay, because if this were a premium and you're amortizing premium, the premium is going to be a credit balance, so you're going to amortize on debits. So it's going to be a subtraction from the payment to calculate interest expense. Okay, all right. I just sort of memorized it, but then I started looking at the logic of it when I started drawing T accounts. I'm like, oh, this is really stupid simple, actually. Alrighty, good. So then, number 3. Determine the total bond interest expense to be recognized over the bond's life. Then you're thinking, oh my gosh, how in the world am I going to do this? Well, look at it this way, folks. How many payments are you going to be making of $120,000 cash? Every half year for 15 years? Is that right? Here's a quick and dirty way to do it. Take $120,000 times 30 periods. Okay? And then add to that the discount amount, which is going to be, because your interest payment is going to be the combination of these two, right? So you just go ahead and do it over 30 years, but don't multiply this by 30 because this has a 0.4, so you're going to run into rounding errors and you'll have a wrong answer. So don't do it that way. Just take the total discount amount and add that to the 120 times 30 payments, and you'll get your answer. Plus 543, 552. And that's going to be equal to, drum roll, 4,143,552. And the same is true if you wind up looking at total interest payments. If it's a premium, not a discount, then you take the 120,000 times 30 periods that you're going to be paying to bondholders, and you subtract the total premium amount from that, and you'll get your answer for the total amount of interest at for the whole life of the loan. Okay, is that easy enough? Okay, number 4. We have to prepare an amortization table. And I'm going to try and keep this very simple. I'll start with whatever the period is, the payment period. I'll put in unamortized discount, and I'm shorthanding again, unamortized discount. And then the carrying value. And the first period that I'm going to start with is when I actually made the sale of the bond, which was January 1st, 2015. That's the first one I want to put down. So I'm going to go January 1st, 15, and then every half year after that. So 6/30, 15, 12/31, 15, then 6/30, 16, and 12/31, 16. Okay. So I need to make sure that I put the first one, and it says the first 2 years. So the first 2 years is going to be June, December, 2 years here. Don't do 1, 2, 3, 4 and think you're done, because you're going to miss December 2016. Okay. And then my unamortized discount, I'm going to start with this number right here. Okay. All right.